Hey guys, welcome back to the Former Farm Kid channel. Here is our problem today. A spherical scoop of ice cream with a diameter of 8 centimeters is in a cone 18 centimeters tall with a base diameter of 8 centimeters. If all the ice cream melts into the cone, what percent of the cone will be filled? And we will round our answer to the nearest whole percent if needed. So in this case, we're doing a percentage problem. So just off the top of my head here, it looks like it's going to be the percent of ice cream that fills the cone. That's basically what the problem said. So it's going to be the amount of ice cream over the volume or amount of space in the cone. It is the part over the whole. So all I need to do is calculate the volume of the ice cream and calculate the volume of the cone. Put this volume of the ice cream over the volume of the cone. And by the way, on my picture here, this looks like a hemisphere, doesn't it? Because we can't see the rest of the ice cream in the cone. This is like a waffle cone, we'll say. So we don't use the formula for a hemisphere. We use the full formula for a circular sphere. So our setup is going to be 4/3 pi times 4 cubed. That's the volume of a sphere. The volume for a cone is 1/3 pi. It's the radius squared. This is radius up here as well. In this case, the height would be 18. And when I do that equation, and by the way, we have pi in the numerator and denominator, so that cancels out. We don't need to include that. If you are asked to express, well, you're not going to be asked in this particular problem to express your answer in terms of pi because it is a percentage. So basically then, looking at this problem, we can set all this up on our calculator and do it in one step. So I'm going to try to zoom in here a little bit so you can see the calculator. And I'm going to tell you right up front, I'm going to do this the wrong way the first time around. And maybe you can take a look at my results and what I do and see if you can pick up what I'm doing wrong. So it's 4/3 times 4 cubed divided by 1/3. And yes, I know I could come up here, hit the green, go to here, do my fractions on the setup page. However, that's at least 2 extra steps on the calculator. And when it comes time to do a test or you're sitting for the ACT, SAT, time is of the essence. So I generally just always set my fractions up like this, whatever works best for you. So then we have the other radius would be 4 squared times 18. And notice that I didn't put a multiplication sign between 4 squared and 18. It's not necessary because 4 squared is an operation. So it goes to the next operation, which in this case, an adjacent number to it, it sees it as multiplication. If it helps you to visualize the problem by putting a multiplication sign in front of the 18, by all means, go ahead and do that. So there's the setup. It's exactly what I have written here. Let's see what it equals. Oh boy, 73,728. I'm pretty sure that's wrong. Number one doesn't agree with my original answer. So now that you've seen my setup, what did I do wrong? Well, here is what I did wrong. Looking at the problem and the setup. In the numerator, we're in pretty good shape. It's going to do all the multiplication. The first thing it's going to actually do are the parentheses. It's going to divide 4 by 3, and it's going to do that over here, and it stores that in memory. Then it's going to do the exponents. It's going to get whatever 4 squared or 4 cubed is here, and then whatever 4 squared is. Then it's going to put it in its memory. Then it's going to go back to the beginning of the equation. It's going to start over with multiplication and division. Well, this number proceeding, this fraction with parentheses around it, is multiplication. It's going to multiply. The next thing it's going to do is it is going to divide by 1/3. Then it's going to take that answer, multiply it by 4 squared. Get it out here so you can see the whole thing. And then it's going to multiply once again by 18. We do not want it to do that. Here is my advice to you. Anytime you have an operation in the numerator or denominator, put parentheses around it. Why? Because we want the whole numerator divided by the whole denominator. So, in this case, here's how I should have set it up. I have 4/3 times 4 cubed. Notice the parentheses I've done here. I cannot omit the parentheses around 4/3. Otherwise, I have the same problem as I just discussed. By putting parentheses around the numerator, even though this time it's not technically required because the order of operations is correct, you don't want to take the time to sit there and analyze a problem as far as order of operations and what the calculator is going to do. It takes 5 seconds to put 4 extra parentheses onto your problem. I'm going to do the same thing then on my denominator, divided by parentheses, 1/3 times 4 squared times 18. Close parentheses for the whole thing. So these two large parentheses tells the calculator, I want the whole numerator divided by this whole amount. And I get this number, 0.8 repeating. And again, I'm asked for a percentage. So I'm going to move my decimal place 2 places to the right, and I have 88.8. It tells us to round to the nearest whole percent. So 88.8% equals 89%. And that's how we got our answer. Okay, guys, any questions, please leave them in the comments. I'll get back to you. God bless. Keep up the great work. We'll see you on the next one.